Hello, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the research project proposal assignment. And when you finish it, submit your research project proposal to the Turnitin Dropbox. This is worth 50 points, so it is important. You can send me a draft if you would like to. The research project proposal is what you propose to complete for your semester project, which you will be doing the rest of the semester. It ties directly to your research project. Below, please find more detailed information about the research project. For this project, you will be concentrating on learning rather than development. This is not something that comes naturally and all people learn. This is something that is actually learned. Learned by you or learned by someone else. It is not you teaching someone. It's about their learning. For instance, my daughter wanted me to teach my grandsons how to mow and edge the lawn. It's not about me teaching them, it's about them learning. So make sure that the emphasis is on the learning. In this project, the main objective is to make you become aware of the complexity of influences that emerge when learning is taking place. This is not a controlled experiment where only one variable is considered. Instead, I am interested in a systematic, albeit informal, observation of what learning is like. The guidelines that follow may help you accomplish this task. 1. Select a learning situation. This could be your own learning in this course, mastering a physical skill, or your child's learning as she learns to walk, learns to write his/her name, or learns to ride a bike. In order to provide the rich description required, it will be necessary to select a situation in which you will be able to perform daily, systematic observations. This is not something you learn in an hour or even a day. So this is going to be something that should probably take 3, 5, maybe 10 days where you keep track daily what's going on. In my own example right now, as I am writing this, I've been doing Pokemon Go for a couple of months, and every day I am learning more and more about the strategies, about how things work, about the powers of the different Pokemon, different strategies, and it's really interesting as I discover these things through trial and error and in other situations. So if I were to do this right now, this is something I'm learning right now and something that I'm going to continue to learn over the next couple of weeks. So I could start right now. I could maybe go back a little bit and talk about what I learned last week, the week before. But starting today, if I were going to do this project, I could start making my observations each day of what I'm learning and how I'm learning. So that's an example that you could use. You won't be doing that, I'm sure. I hope not, because you should be busy working and in school, in your classes. This is not something you learn in an hour or even a day. So it's not like a recipe or what you would get from a book by reading or something. Now, it talked earlier about maybe you're learning in this course and you are learning things all the time, and the way you apply and that would be perfectly acceptable the way you're learning in this course or maybe another course you are taking right now. Describe the learning episodes. This description should include as much as possible about the physical, emotional, intellectual context in which learning is occurring. It may be helpful to keep a learning diary in which you jot down your observations and what you believe are important influences on your learning. Report your observations. I envision 2 main sections. In part 1, report your observations of the learning. In part 2, explain the learning in terms of some theory or construct you have read about and or discussed in the classroom postings. Now, what I've been reading here, 1, 2, 3, those are all for the research project. This is not what you have to do for next week when you submit this report. This is not what you have to do for this assignment. This is what you'll be doing later. The research project will be turned in as a formal report written in APA format and will include a works cited page, a reference page, and any appropriate charts, graphs, and appendices. The final project should be approximately 10 pages in length, double-spaced. There'll be more instruction on this later, not including your title page and reference page. To complete your research project proposal, please include the following. Now, this is what you're doing for this assignment. Briefly describe your research project topic or the idea for your research project. You can change your mind with my approval. Just go ahead and say, hey, this has come up And I think this would be a better research project than I explained in the proposal. That will be fine, but right now, where you are right now, what you plan to do. 2. Briefly describe the main points you intend to include in your project, including the theories and that you're going to be using. You can go back to the chapters we've covered so far, maybe go ahead and look at the table of contents and in the book and see what might intrigue you and something you would like to learn more about that you could include in this paper. Your proposal should be brief but enable the professor to assess its appropriateness. Include any questions or concerns you might have. And the proposal should be more than 1 page and less than 3 pages in length. So make sure it's 1 page and at least a couple lines more, but don't go give me 3 whole pages. You can go a second page. There should be 2 pages. There should be the first page is full and the second page will be partial, maybe all the way down to the bottom, but I don't see why you should write more than 2 pages. So more than 1 page, less than 3. If you have any questions, please give me a call.